My name is Midge Lansat, and I'm the director of the Healing and Creative Arts Center. Well, this person is so creative and they're so free-spirited, and I love that about them, but in the meantime they turn out to be a slob or whatever it is, the idiosyncrasies that drive us a little crazy. What you loved about the person in the first place may irritate you after a year and a half. Maybe the other person, because opposites many times attract, maybe the other side of the coin is that the person is very conscientious, very detail-oriented, likes everything in their place. You know, couples break up over many little things, not one big thing usually. It's all these little things that aggravate and separate and cause division. So when you begin to respect and honor the person consciously, that's differentiation. When you fall in love in the beginning and think they're wonderful and you don't see their faults, and everything is wonderful and beautiful, that's unconscious, the lower brainstem. As you become into consciousness and you make a conscious decision to respect that person, that they are conscientious, and they respect their other side of the spouse, the other one, because they are creative, and accept the differences and the faults, that's called differentiation. And that's something that we have not done totally in our country between the cultures and the races, and you've shared that with me today, and that's true. And it's basically that these people are stuck in hostile dependency. The tape we watched today, they were enmeshed to the point where they made this person a god. And he called himself a god, and everybody was like blindly following that person. That's enmeshment. They had no sense. That's National Socialism. There is no uniqueness. And the ruler is, you know, patriarchal, and it all goes back to that developmental stage and where they were stuck. And then, what is America? America is the me generation. Well, you go from differentiation, which is what our forefathers, our founding fathers founded this government on. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And gave people that opportunity and to respect people of all nations, tribes, languages, tongues, etc., right? And that was a wild, democratic, different idea, inspired by God, because He knows what we need. And then people began to work through differentiation, at least legally. It was mandated. It takes time to work it through, and many have. Not all, but many have. Now we get into identity. And that's why we call our generation the me generation. And that's what all people go through. They become self-absorbed. And you remember when your children went through that me, I stage, and they seemed self-centered and it was all about them. And some people get married, they get into significant relationships, intimate relationships, and maybe one person is stuck in that identity stage. And they seem like they're married to someone who's very self-absorbed, very self-focused, and they feel rejected by that person because that person has not completed their life cycle tasks. So in order to heal that wound, in order for that person to get unstuck, they need to be heard. They need to be mirrored. And in a structured container, safe environment by somebody they trust. And then they will automatically move into the next phase, which is rapprochement. And that's a French word for coming together by choice. Again, it's always conscious. I'm choosing to do things together. My husband and I went through all these stages. Fortunately, I studied a lot of this in school and practiced it because what I got from my family system didn't teach me this at all. In fact, the opposite. They stayed way back in the hostile dependence stage and stayed stuck. But through education, through the Holy Spirit, and through trainings that I took, we practiced this. So my husband has his hobbies. He has the things that he likes to do separate from me. I have things I like to do separate from him. And then by choice, we come together and do things together, such as the children. We love to do that together, raising the children. A little bit of community work that we like to do together. Socializing. We like the same kind of friends. We love the same kind of movies. We have a lot in common, but we were really different in a lot of ways too. And we had to work those things through. So this really helps. It's a tool that you can put in your toolbox to really help you in the communications side of things. Okay, now that's an example of the interaction of the family dynamic. Now I have another teaching that I do on boundaries and how to set boundaries with dysfunctional or abusive or aggressive family members or coworkers. That's another whole lesson. But that's very important. And it also teaches people how to, again, individuate. The word in family systems is individuate. And differentiate and make I statements. Because if a person says, this is about me, then the other person doesn't get offended if they're hearing them. What's really helped a lot of people that I've taught this skill to, which is the mirroring, validating, and empathizing, which Harville Hendrix coined. But like I said, it started with Freud and it evolved. And I do want to say that Harville Hendrix, who's been on television, he's written books, Keeping the Love You Find, he focused on couples with this, significant partners and so forth. He really didn't use it much with other family members, which I feel it's a viable tool with anyone. Just, it depends how deep you want to go in the intimacy communication level. But anyway, be that as it may, what he did is he spent tens of thousands of dollars, and a lot of experiential and a lot of professionals got together and figured out what is going to work to help marriages. Because when you come in and you sit down in front of a counselor, and that counselor is the authority, the two are trying to convince the counselor that they're right. But this is a phenomenal tool where it takes the counselor out of the authority position and gets the couple speaking. It takes a lot of pressure off the counselor, and when the couple is not with the counselor, they've learned something that they can communicate together. So it really empowers the couple or the people. With a lot of skill, if a person is a counselor or a highly skilled facilitator, they can get to the root of the problem depending on how much training they have in other areas. So I integrate a lot of different things when I'm specifically doing this with people.